This is Things You Might Not Have Heard. I am Jay Clifton Payne, and I'm ready to present to you yesterday's latest information, current events, politics, and pop culture. This is your go-to supplemental source for both mainstream it is, and conventional news stories that you have missed with a little added context. In the queue, 8 stories from the past day that you deem conversational. We put into this crafted cast here. We'll explain the vetting process at the end of the headlines and bring you some today things to have some fun with as well. So stick around till the end. More about us at our website. This is conversationproject.com, and email us whenever you feel like it at the conversation inbox at gmail.com. On to the headlines for today. It's Wednesday. It's the 3rd of January, 3 days into 2024, and it is hot and popping. It's on already. Let's get into the headlines. 8 stories for this morning. Starting off with headline number 1. In no particular order, just the order they ended up in when we shifted them around. And we go to the story that was actually number 1 this morning, and the story that you helped make my dreams come true. I asked you if you wanted to talk about this one, make it top 15 and be there. It's number 1. ESPN apologizes for showing video of women flashing breasts during Sugar Bowl broadcast. ESPN apologized for inadvertently, air quotes, airing a video clip showing a woman exposing her breasts during the Sugar Bowl broadcast at New Orleans. The incident occurred during the live segment featuring Bourbon Street, and ESPN expressed regret for the unintentional inclusion of the inappropriate content in their coverage of the event. Now, anyone who's been to New Orleans and knows about Bourbon Street knows this stuff happens all the time. I mean, it's not just a Mardi Gras thing. It's not just, made for TV or made for trashy sort of festivals. This sort of stuff happens kind of all the time, and they had no idea it was going to happen, but they have the apology for this happening because it made a big deal. We're not quite done with this person yet, so we'll get back to this a little later, so hang tight for that one. In actual real news, let's go to story number 2. Vivek Ramaswamy goes nuclear on CNN while dropping out of debate he didn't even qualify for. We pulled this from Mediaite, so it is a bit of a sting to the actual report that we have here. But Republican presidential candidate, who's still in the race, Vivek Ramaswamy, criticized CNN, expressing frustration over the network's debate qualification criteria, decided not to participate in the scheduled debate for, I guess, tomorrow night. Let's see how much people are caring about it. The problem is, he complained about the frustration that over the network's debate qualification criteria because it didn't qualify. That's what the original thing was going forward. Also not qualifying is Chris Christie, and we knew this weeks ago. It was Haley and it was DeSantis. That's all they've been advertising for weeks, although it's just been the pictures up there. I guess they were hoping maybe Asa Hutchinson was going to come back and be on the show. It's not happening. It's DeSantis, it's Haley, no one else qualified, no one else will be on this thing. It's a useless task anyway, because they're all useless tasks, but it is what's going on. He's staying relevant, just not going to win anything. Let's move on to story number 3 this morning. Democrat Senator Bob Menendez, accused of accepting bribes to benefit Qatar in superseding federal indictment. Yeah, we already talked about the Turkey stuff, but now apparently he's also dealing with Qatar, and this is a separate country, separate issue, but the same thing. Essentially acting as a foreign agent while being a member of Congress, a senator to be exact, and doing things to help out what's going on in Qatar. Essentially, he gets gold bars, and then magic things happen for Qatar. Him and his wife Nadine, of course, are being alleged in this scheme as well. This one will continue to play out in court. See how many more nations he's maybe helped out and how many more gold bars they will seize in the process. Gold bars. It's like a Bond villain going forward. Let's move on to story number 4. Backstreet Boys AJ McLean and wife Rochelle decide to officially end our marriage. That's the quote from them. AJ McLean and his wife Rochelle Cardis are announcing their decision to divorce after 12 years of marriage. The couple released a joint statement expressing their mutual respect and deep love for each other. That's what happens when you're rich and famous and people kind of have to watch for this stuff. You have to put these words out carefully because they'll come back to haunt you. They've been separated for over a year prior to this announcement, so they've been working on this for a bit. The focus remains on co-parenting their 2 daughters with love and understanding. This is the first big breakup relationship that I guess we've seen for 2024, although it's the 3rd, so it is early. Last year was a really, really big deal for a lot of people breaking up, a lot of really famous people. AJ McLean, still famous for being the Backstreet Boys. I'm not sure what his wife does. I think she is a model actress on the end, but I know AJ, not so much Cardis. But we're going to mark this as the first breakup of the year, and hopefully not a trend like we had for 2023. The story sitting at number 5 this morning reads like this, or the headline reads like this: Bootsy walks out of The Color Purple calling it a gay love story. Bootsy Badass, the rapper, publicly expressed his disappointment with the film The Color Purple, walking out with his daughter because he called it a gay love story, saying that it's all about showing love, showing respect, showing, what do you want to do for the LGBTQ pluses. Now, if you've seen the actual musical, not the original movie, which movie is sort of based off the musical, which is a retelling of the story, you would probably agree with Bootsy on this one, and you probably should know this going in there. I can tell you, I went to see the musical a few years back, and was scratching my head because I was like, I don't remember Seeley being all this back then, and because it wasn't. The movie didn't play that way. I haven't read the book, but the book doesn't quite play that way. But the musical and the new movie, which is based on the new imagining, if you will, it's a gay love story. Let's just be honest. It's a gay love story. It is what it is. Let's move on to story at number 6. Jack Black joins Jason Mamoa in Minecraft movie. I'm not sure if all these things are going to be any good, but all these video games, just regular video games, are getting the movie treatment, and Jack Black is trying to catch some money, get him some gain, get him some cheddar, and these things. Already in the flick is Jason Mamoa, and now Jack Black joining the upcoming adaptation of the Minecraft movie coming forward. It's going to be Minecraft. It's going to be, I don't know, blockheads and chopping things up. I don't know. I have no idea. Never played the game. I understand what it is, but it's more or less a child's game. My kid plays it a little bit, but we'll see how Minecraft plays and whether we'll have more of these video games. I know they're working on a Zelda movie. Maybe Dig Dug is next. Who knows? Let's move on to the story we have at number 7 this morning. Jason Whitlock, Katie Nolan feud rehashed after embarrassing ex-post. So let me go way back. Jason Whitlock is back and forth fighting with Katie Nolan because they beef on Twitter. But what actually happened was Jason Whitlock put out a post, a clipping of his of a ad that popped up into his feed, and was like, "What's up with the ESPN showing me this stuff during college football? This is sad. This is sick." And then people immediately jumped on, it wasn't ESPN's fault. It's a cookie from your search terms, and because of your search terms, you're getting essentially porn in your feed. So the moral of the story is, 1, don't search for porn in your open browser because it'll get cookies and you'll get porn in your feed. And number 2, don't bring up old hashed up, long gone beefs with people because it brings more people attention to what you're doing right now. And Jason Whitlock, who is turning himself into more or less a conservative, just general conservative commentator as opposed to a sports commentator or sports writer, and is doing a fairly bad job of it. Although he's getting a lot of attention for it and people are sort of jumping on the fact that he's there, it's not doing a good job of actually telling people anything worth hearing, if that makes sense. And the final story from our curated stories for this morning, it is this one. Jimmy Kimmel hits back at soft-brained Wacko, that's a quote on Aaron Rodgers, for suggesting Epstein connection. In an article from Ace Showbiz, popular South Korean, that's the wrong update. So, but I can tell you what happened. For some reason I pulled the wrong stock copy in that one. What happened was Aaron Rodgers did his appearance on the Pat McAfee show the other day and did his back and forth. And somewhere in the conversation, he started talking about the Epstein list. The Epstein list where people were looking for on Monday, the 1st, but it was a holiday, so they looked for it yesterday on the 2nd. To see a release. Thought it was going to be released last night around 10 o'clock Central Time, I believe. But then there's a stay on it because one person, I think 104 or 140 person, a female that's on the list doesn't want to be exposed because she believes there'll be great physical harm done to her. So the judge has given her a couple days to figure that out. So the list has not been released. But Aaron Rodgers saying he's waiting for this list to be released because he wants to see Jimmy Kimmel on it. Essentially, that's literally what he said. He's waiting to see release because Jimmy Kimmel will come out. On the list, at least, which Kimmel responded with all sorts of blah, 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 back and forth, and, the defamation, things like that, going back and forth. I'm not sure why there's a beef between Kimmel and Rodgers. I really don't understand that, but apparently there is, and we'll see what happens and see, number 1, well, we'll see when the list comes out whether Jimmy Kimmel is on the list, redacted or not, and number 2, whether Aaron Rodgers is on the list, redacted or not, and number 3, the people we really want to see on that list. Number 4, why are they beefing? Aaron Rodgers has done nothing but sit on the bench this year. So I guess staying relevant is how he's doing to him and Jason Whitlock doing what they can to stay relevant by running their mouths. And they're doing a good job of it, I guess. Them and Vivek Ramaswamy. All the folks, all the teams, everybody all together. So let's talk about our apologies, errors, and omissions. No apologies, no real errors to give up, but we're admitting this one story. One story, we didn't have time to get into this one. Air Canada had the worst on-time performance among large airlines in North America. Air Canada had the most screw-ups over 2023. It is the top North American airline with what's going on. So you may think we are bad here, U.S., but Air Canada apparently bad enough for all of us in North America, at least as their airlines run. You can check out the story and see more on that one. Let's go to our teaser story for this morning. This is a story that we could talk about if you deem it worthy, just like you deem the story about the lady who flashed her breasts on Bourbon Street in the ESPN broadcast. Oh, we're back to that actually, so we'll get to that in a moment. But this is done by you simply following us on our feeds and telling us what stories are good to chat about. Go to facebook.com/thisisAconversationproject and twitter.com/th_conversation. You can call it X if you want to, but it's still th_conversation. Follow us as you check your feeds on Twitter, your X, your Facebook, and just see what we have going on and engage in the stories that you see. Literally, you click like, love, hate, share, and read the stories. The more engagement score it gets, higher chance we have talking about it. Yesterday, I asked you, hey, let's talk about this story, and you did. I don't think this one's going to go as far as I thought things are going to go, but the headline that we're adding for today's teaser for Wednesday: female who was caught flashing on ESPN's live Sugar Bowl broadcast is now being offered lucrative deal from adult site. I'm going to leave that there. I'm just going to say 6 figures are on the table and walk away from that one. If you really want to chat this one up, I don't think this is going to get the response that yesterday's did, but we shall see. Make it top 15, one of the top 15 stories for the morning, because we take top 15s, which are the top half of the stories in the day, and it will probably get picked in the curated parts. I think so. Kind of love it. Okay, so let's get serious for a second. Our sponsor spotlight for this morning is Resume Solution. We're looking to help you get better in 2024. If that is getting a new job, Resume Solution may help you do that. They will guarantee you more appointments, more interviews, more looks at your resume. Can't guarantee you the job, but they can say they can help you get it in order. And if you're not looking for a job, sometimes it's nice to have a nice CV, have a nice organization of what you've done together. So now may be the time to get this done, maybe just for yourself, maybe for the actual job you're looking for. Go to thisisaconversationproject.com/resume solution. This is theconversationproject.com/resume solution and check it out today. This is an affiliate link, so if you use this link and use their services and pay for services, because they also have free reviews, you can give us a little bit of a commission. We love that. It keeps us going on as well. So check it out at Resume Solution. This is theconversationproject.com/resume solution is our link for our affiliate cash. Let's talk about the Conversation Project itself. The Conversation Project lives online at this. It's conversationproject.com. Go by our website and learn about us. It's that simple. Learn about us. We are all over the website with where we are, what we're doing, how we do it, and sort of the history of why we do it. We have the feeds we talked about already a couple times on Facebook and Twitter. We also have our email address that you can email us at theconversationinbox@gmail.com. Those things are all basically free. You can do those things and let us know how things are going and tell us what to do, work on that end. You can visit our sponsors page and see how we're working on those ends. Visit our partnerships page, and we have links to ways you can partner with us to help us do more stuff. 2024 is slated to be a big year for what we're going to do, and we need some help, and we need the resources, and we need you to be a part of it. So number one, make sure you are on the feeds telling those stories to do, because we pick the stories from the ones you want us to talk about. That's number one. Number two, if you think we're worthy, help us out. We'll make this big. We promise. Now it's time to get into the fun stuff for the day. Fun stuff always begins with birthdays, because the birthdays are the funnest of the fun stuff of the day. Birthday wishes going out to Danica McKellar, who is 48 years old on the day. We're going with Danica McKellar because this is, I'm of that age. I'm in that generation, and we're going to go with Danica because Winnie Cooper. Is that simple. Also, today's history lesson goes back to 2004. way back. After hosting the show for over 30 years, Casey Kasem gave up the hosting duties of America Top 40 to Ryan Seacrest. I'm almost positive the show still exists in radio syndication, but since it's not as popular, not that Seacrest wasn't popular, but it's been literally 20 years since Casey Kasem retired, and he's also passed since then, and he did the show for 30 years, all through the 70s, the 80s, and 90s. The whole thing about listening to the radio, so I mean, back in the day, back when you were a kid in the 80s, you sat by the radio and listened for all 4 hours to see what the number one song was that week. Now, since it's on your phone, on your Spotify, it's a different time. But Casey Kasem, an institution, that's why I say when I count these things down for the weekend show, Casey Kasem style, back in that day. So we're celebrating that as a part of history back in 2024, way back in 2004, which was 20 years ago. Casey Kasem gave up the show after doing 30 years of it on the radio. What we're going to celebrate today is Drinking Straw Day. Today is the day the drinking straw was patented. The paper patent straw was patented back on this day. So it's a double history lesson. And so on the 3rd of January, we celebrate drinking straws. So in this day and age, you might want to use paper ones, although they're kind of crappy. Get a metal one if you're a good feel for the environment. Otherwise, we're celebrating drinking straws because they're kind of awesome. Help you get more things done. You can drink more with them, but of course, if you're not careful, sucking a lot of air, not good for you. I do that a lot when I stuff, so I worry about that. And our poll question for this morning is not all those X's. It's actually, that's ironic. It's actually a question about Dave Chappelle. So go to our website, this is conversationproject.com, click on the daily poll, and answer the question, is he getting fairly roasted for his jokes against trans people? His new special came out on Netflix, if it wasn't the 1st, it might have been Sunday the 31st, and there's a lot of more of the same, where a lot of stuff where he's bashing trans people and a lot of trans jokes. In fact, one of the funniest jokes in the thing was a combination of a thank you to the fans and a very, very long setup to a trans joke that almost didn't hit. Is he getting roasted fairly for him doing jokes about trans? Let us know by going to the poll. It's there. It doesn't say X. It says Dave. It's a picture of Dave Chappelle. Trust me, it's there. I didn't. Oddly enough, just inside baseball, I didn't put in the script the last slide for the fun stuff, so I had to just write right off the slide, and I didn't put in the slide the copy for the poll question, so I'm looking at this X9 quadruple X thing here. We do much better work in it, but it's Wednesday. It's been a long week so far, and we've only had 2 days of work, 1 day of work, and well, you get it. Well, let's get out of here then. Let's just wrap the whole thing up. Let's just call the whole thing off. No, because we're done, so we're not calling it off. We are done for the day. It's Wednesday, January the 3rd, 2023. We've wrapped up this edition of Things You Might Have Heard, so thank you for being with us for this show. If you're with us live, we kicked this off at 5:50. Kicked it off right on time this morning, 5:50 Central Time, or you're going to watch this in a replay or listen to the audio somewhere. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Give us what's going on. Follow us on our feed so you can tell us what to talk about. The feeds are on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/this is a conversation project. Twitter.com/th_conversation. Like, love, hate, share the story so I know what I'm talking about every single day. If you deem us worthy, check out our partnerships page at our website and see if we can hook up. Stay limber, stay hydrated, stay on task for all the grand things you are here to do. And hang out on the internets, tell us what to talk about, and see you tomorrow morning, 5:50 a.m. Central Time, for a Thursday edition of the news stories that you liked on Wednesday. Because that's how it works. Love you, mean it. We'll do this again tomorrow.